Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A man is behind bars this evening after an alleged garage break-in turned into a shelter-in-place order in Horace this afternoon. 41-year-old Nicholas Mackner is jailed on trespassing, 3 counts of criminal mischief, and 1 count of refusal to halt. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley was the only one on scene today and tells us what unfolded.
It was just after 11:30 this morning when Cass County Sheriff's deputies say they were called to the 8100 block of Highway 17 for a garage burglary. Officers say they noticed an individual in the trees, but say the suspect ran away from detectives, which prompted officers to set up a perimeter and call a shelter-in-place order for Horace residents. Deputies say a neighbor in the area told officers he saw an individual on his doorbell camera that matched the suspect description. And with the help of a West Fargo canine, officers found 41-year-old Nicholas Mackner hiding in the bushes in the 7800 block of Brink Drive, where Mackner was then apprehended and taken into custody. Deputies say Mackner was treated on scene by FM ambulance before being taken to Essentia Hospital, where he was medically cleared to be booked into the Cass County Jail. In Horace, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Deputies say Mackner did not have any stolen property on him, but they're asking Horace residents to check their properties for stolen items and to check their doorbell cameras for any further evidence. Former Minneapolis police officer Thomas Lane is now filing a motion to dismiss charges in the death of George Floyd. His attorney filed a motion to dismiss in Hennepin County District Court on Tuesday, citing lack of probable cause based on the entire record. His attorney filed several exhibits as evidence, including body camera footage and a transcript of Lane's interview with investigators. A 33-year-old man is now facing a federal charge surrounding his actions during the riot on May 30th. Court documents state Eric Toa was seen and heard by Fargo police acting aggressively and claiming he was a gang member. Fargo police say Toa jumped onto the bumper of a squad car while yelling and waving his arms. Police say Toa also stomped on and broke the windshield. Fargo police say they took Toa into custody after they saw him punch a civilian in the face. Police say he later admitted to breaking the window and also threatening to punch an officer. Toa is facing 1 federal count of civil disorder. After a wild night of weather, it's quiet for most of us. That certainly is appreciated by a lot of folks, including our weather team. Let's see if it'll stay quiet tonight. Here's Hutch with your first alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Thanks so much, Andrea. That is indeed the case. We once again do have a risk for some strong thunderstorms, but most of us will stay dry. We're talking to the south of Fargo, into South Dakota, into Lakes Country once again. That was fairly hard hit by storms. We're watching for the development of strong to severe storms, and there is a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight for the Wilkin County area, and this includes Richland County, Roberts, South Dakota, and Sisseton, right up through Fergus Falls. Otter Tail County hit quite hard. The Detroit Lakes area also included in that watch, as is Hubbard County and Wadena County. Again, until midnight, the main risks: large hail, damaging wind. We cannot rule out an isolated tornado. Look at the heat down south. Sisseton 91, Alexandria near 90 as well, and we dip down into the 70s in the Devil's Lake Basin. Right now in Fargo, things are cloudy, but no threatening skies at this time. I think for the most part the storms stay to the south and east of us, although I cannot rule out a renegade thunder shower close to the FM area early this evening. Then it quiets down. Grand Forks stays quiet and dry all night. Temperatures in the 70s after sunset. We'll have hour-by-hour forecast details on these storms, when and where, and talk about our late week forecast in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. About a dozen RV campers were destroyed this morning as severe weather wreaked havoc on parts of Minnesota. The RV park where this happened just opened last week, and as Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero found out, most of the RVs were new.
Beth Levine's RV was pretty much cut in half.
I don't know if I can get in there or not, to be honest.
Her husband co-owns a lakeside RV park where about 12 out of 14 RV campers were damaged.
The campers are all completely totaled. They're all going to be a complete loss.
Some were thrown into the trees, flipped on their top or side, or ripped apart. The owners of this RV park do not suspect it was just straight line winds that caused this damage that you can see behind me. We have several RVs that were turned over and several large trees that came down, but luckily no one was injured.
I'm no storm expert, but there's trees laying this way and trees laying, everything's all different different directions. So I would assume if it was a straight line wind, everything would be the same way, but I don't know.
The RV park opened on July 1st, and most of the RVs moved in right after spending the 4th of July weekend here. It's located on the north side of Otter Tail Lake along the shores of Long Lake.
So these 2 campers were not touched.
Melissa Tooney's RV was one of the 2 that survived.
We worked so hard for over a year to try and make this such an amazing campground, and to come and see this, our hearts just kind of sank.
The National Weather Service has yet to determine what went through this area.
We had a neighbor drop off some rolls and water, so that was very good, and there are good people left in the world, so.
The debris is being cleared up, and many are counting their blessings because things could have been a lot worse. In Otter Tail County, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
The National Weather Service is surveying the area, and they're expecting results either tonight or tomorrow morning. And of course, we'll let you know what those results are once they are released. A lightning strike is to blame for a fire that destroyed a home in Barnesville. Crews rushed to the house on Main Avenue around 3:30 this morning and found flames shooting from the roof. Everyone living in the home was able to make it out safely. Crews stayed on scene for hours as they put out the flames and watched for hot spots. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting 463 new cases, COVID cases, with 8 more deaths linked to the virus. This brings the death toll in Minnesota to 1,485. Of those deaths, 1,161 happened in a long-term care facility. Officials say the active case count currently sits at 3,202. Nearly 35,000 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, state health officials are confirming 73 new cases, along with 1 additional death. Officials say the case count is the highest single-day rise in cases since the end of May. The number of active cases sits at 439. The additional death was added to the list after a review. 26 patients are hospitalized. Over 3,400 people are listed as recovered. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is still leading the way when it comes to the global response to the coronavirus pandemic, despite having the highest number of cases of any country in the world. Pompeo's remarks came during a briefing with reporters this morning. He confirmed that the U.S. is making progress in regard to European travel and lashed out at the World Health Organization, calling it incompetent as the administration begins its formal withdrawal from the organization.
They're incapable of being transparent, of accepting criticism, of allowing reporters to ask them questions that they find uncomfortable, that elicit the truth and the facts. We still have significant questions about who patient 0 was. We're now 6 months on at least from when this began.
Pompeo says the U.S. has been and will remain the world's leader when it comes to not only pandemic response, but also global healthcare infrastructure systems. The Supreme Court this morning issued a ruling that allows President Trump to weaken the Obamacare contraceptive mandate. The law requires that employer-provided health insurance plans cover birth control as a preventative service at no cost. The decision clears the way for expanded exemptions for employers who have religious or moral objections to the mandate. Another rule extends that provision to organizations and small businesses with moral objections not based on religion. Newly released data shows North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum's company received federal loans in April. The Kilbourne Group was awarded between $350,000 to $1 million from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. The loans were intended to go to small businesses as a way to weather the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Kilbourne was approved for a PPP loan on April 10th, according to federal data. The company is currently developing the Block 9 high-rise in downtown Fargo. Still ahead tonight, they deliver for you, but they're running out of money. We'll tell you about the battle over how to save the U.S. Postal Service.
And strong thunderstorms rolling out of Grant County north of Elbow Lake, heading in toward Battle Lake. This area hit hard last night. Strong storms producing some rotation, as according to spotters. We'll keep you up to date with the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast right after this.